Now, there's also a couple of real-world uses for the cross-elasticity of demand. So, number one, you can use it to classify markets. So if you're starting a business, before going into a particular market, you may want to see how competitive it is, for example, or how many substitutes there are, or if you were to price certain products a certain way, what would happen. So mainly, you can check how competitive a market is with using the cross-elasticity of demand. Pricing strategies, and two different things you could do. You can go about a pricing strategy in relation to competitors. Again, seeing how certain prices, how your price compares to another price, and then how that quantity demanded of one product is going to affect the quantity demanded of another product. But you can also use the cross-elasticity of demand in terms of in-company product mixes. So what I mean by that is, let's say that your company is selling two complements. Let's say that your company is selling printers and then printer ink. So these are two complements, right? So you're selling both of these. What can potentially happen is you may notice that if you lower the price of printers, what's going to happen is you may take a bit of a loss in this department, quote unquote, even though the quantity demanded is going to go up. Let's say that overall you're making less money if you lower the price here. But because that quantity demanded of printers is going up, the quantity demanded of ink is going up as well. And then let's say that the loss you take here is less than the gain you're going to make over here. Then for your overall company, that's going to be an increase in profit. And so you could use the cross-elasticity of demand to check for those kinds of relationships, right? Or let's say that your company is selling two substitute products. So let's say you're selling coffee and tea. Well, you may notice if you increase the price of coffee, the quantity demanded is going to go down of coffee, but then the quantity demanded of tea is going to go up. Right? So let's say that overall, with an increase in the price of coffee, you may take a loss here because you're selling less, but you're going to be selling more tea, and you may find that the gain over here more than offsets the loss over here. Right? So again, you can use the cross-elasticity of demand potentially to find certain in-company product mixes, how much you should sell of one or the other, or what the price of each should be in order to maximize the full company profit. And then the third use is governments using it to enforce antitrust laws. And antitrust laws, basically what they do is they ensure fair competition in the marketplace. The main way they do that is they prevent monopolies from happening. Because if a company ends up being a monopoly, they control the whole market, there's no competition, they can increase prices, which would be unfair potentially to consumers. This is to basically protect consumers. So increasing those prices may be unfair to consumers, and then it may restrict trade in the economy. The economy won't grow as much, and so there's these laws here to ensure that there's fair competition to let that trade flow freely throughout the market. And so let's say that there's two companies, and let's say if they both merge, they would own a huge percentage of the market. Let's say they'd own 95% if both of them merge. Well, you can see how strong of a competitor they are with both of their products, if you find the cross elasticity of demand is very high, very positive, right? That means that they are strong substitutes, so there's strong competition there. And then if both of them merge and they have 95% of the market, the government may step in and block that merger from happening. And there's been examples of that in the past. So for example, ExxonMobil, they actually used to be two different companies, and they merged, but before they merged, the government told them they had to divest or get rid of a bunch of gas stations before doing so to free up that market share. I think it was like a couple of thousand gas stations that they had to divest. AT&T and then T-Mobile wanted to merge, and they got blocked by the government from doing so because, again, they would just control too much of the market if both of them merge. It would pretty much be a monopoly, and there wouldn't be as much fair competition, right? So that's just another way that the cross elasticity of demand can be used. Governments can use it to help enforce antitrust laws.